There's another report, since we just talked about Fightful Select a minute ago. They had a report earlier this week that had claimed that the USA Network was requesting that WWE put a top title back on the show, since Roman Reigns is only on the show sporadically, and he's currently walking around with both titles, and he's not really wrestling on Raw at all. A little bit on SmackDown, and of course a few pay-per-views. So there were some ideas pitched. Even USA suggested, according to Fightful Select anyway, that they had pitched an interim championship situation. So it sounds like some USA Network execs are watching a little bit too much AEW. I don't know if you would need to do an interim title situation when the current guy holding the belt is healthy. So an interim title would make no sense. So I think what they probably should do is just make an announcement or make a ruling that says Roman, or you can have Paul Heyman be a part of this when he comes back after selling the Brock Lesnar F5 onto the table. Heyman can come back and be like, you know, Roman is not going to put the titles on the line, or he refuses to fight this guy, but he'll put one of the titles on the line. Or maybe it's like a triple threat situation like I mentioned. And that still remains to be seen if Kross is actually added to this match at Clash of the Castle, or if Kross is going to be separate from the whole situation. But if a triple threat match does take place, whether that's at Clash or not, you can see Heyman, I could see Heyman being like, my tribal chief is at a huge disadvantage. He should not have to put both of his titles on the line against two people. The best I can give you is one. I'll tell you what, we'll put one title on the line, but he is Universal Champion. He's been Universal Champion for, 700 plus days. If he must defend the title, then we'll defend the WWE title. And then you do the deal where Kross or Drew pin each other. Roman loses the belt but never loses. Kross and Drew can go feud for that belt while Roman remains your Universal Champion on SmackDown. That's the way I feel like this would go based on what we saw last night on SmackDown. But who knows? Who knows? I could be way off on that. It just feels like that might be a good direction to go in, and it might be a good way to get a belt off of Roman without really beating him, which is what we discussed way back at WrestleMania time. As soon as Roman won those belts, I'm like, okay, what are they going to do now? There's no way, as long as there's two shows, and they're still being presented as like separate shows, USA and Fox, they're going to want their own championships. I'm all for having one championship, but you still got a guy with two belts. If they were really going to be unified, then the belts needed to merge together into one brand new Universal or WWE championship that represents them both, like really fully unify them. But since they didn't, and you got Roman carrying two belts, you can definitely separate them back out again. So I feel like that's something that they should do. And if USA wants a top title on Raw, Triple H should give it to them. I believe he should. He shouldn't do their idea of the interim shit, but he should definitely figure out a way to do that. And I think Kross could be the beginning of that.